Hi, Tammy. I'm just sending you a little, oops, I'm gonna close that up for us. Okay. I'm sending you a little video, to try and help you kind of work with the layers for the portrait, for the typographic portrait. And remember to start with, of course, we've got our layer. I always like to have it locked. When you open the image, it's already locked, and then you click it to unlock it. But you might want to lock it up if you're going to work on top, and then just select all. And you can see that lock happening, so that if we then go on a layer above, or if we're adding type, we're not moving whatever's below. So I'm going to get started real quick and grab the type tool. Of course, anywhere you click with the type tool on top, it ends up giving you that cursor. And so what's great is then when you go to your move tool, you can then move that type to wherever you want. You can then do image, adjust, or edit, transform, rotate, and then move that around. You can also scale it by going edit, transform, scale, hover, hold down shift, click and drag, and then it will scale it proportionately. You want to edit, transform. You can also do the free transform, where I think that allows you to kind of do this and scale at the same time. So rotate and hover, scale at the same time. Double click to secure it. Now, sometimes it ends up being a little more difficult to work with if it's in the type format, when you see the T here. If that's the case, go to layer. Well, there used to be a type. Rasterized type. There it is. Layer, rasterized type. What that does, you can see here the T is gone, is now you move this around. It treats it like art as opposed to type. So I don't know if your computer was kind of getting a little frustrating, kind of giving you mixed messages if you're trying to click on things, but make sure you're in your move tool to move things. And then from then on, you can, if you're hovered over this little thumbnail, you can hit your control, or if you're on a Mac, hit command click on the thumbnail. It actually highlights this, the type, and then you can go to your eyedropper tool. And then if I hit this, or if I go in here, like let's say I wanted to make it yellow, and I sampled that color. It went into my fill, and then you can do edit fill, and then you fill it with the foreground color, and then I filled it with that. And then to deselect, you would do a Control D or Command D on the Mac, Control D on the PC. So these are other ways that you can add type. And then if you just option click and drag, it actually adds another piece. So you could type different words around and make them different layers, because you've option click and drag, option click and drag. It makes yet another layer. All this is happening. I'm going to move my layers out here. All this is happening on top of this image. So you can change the colors of different words. Again, I'm going to click on this one. If you have auto select selected up here, you can click on one and you can see how it changes from layer to layer. And if I click on the back, it doesn't really, because this is locked. So I'm going to click back on this one. I want to highlight the color, control click, and now I want this color to be green. Okay, so I've sampled that color, it went into the fill. Now I'm going to do edit, fill, another quick command key, edit, fill with foreground color. To quick command that is, I believe it's option delete is also one way to fill color quickly. So command D or control D to deselect. I know I'm running through these things quickly. Edit, transform, rotate, now I'm going to rotate this, move it over here. Maybe I like the way that looks in that color a little better. Maybe I like the way this looks in this color, so we can subtly start to see. Move this one. Control click or Command on the Mac. And then this I'm going to make sort of this white color, whitish color. I'm going to try for the darker value. So edit, fill with foreground color, otherwise Option delete, it fills with the foreground color. Now I'm going to move this one over here. So that's what I was talking about when I was trying to tell students that they could start to fill in the values or the shading with the type. And so obviously if I grab my type tool again, and let's just say I select here, it adds a whole new type layer. And let me just testing. I'm shrinking the size with my quick command key here. If I wanted to get a little more intricate, you know, I might option click and drag, option click and drag, option click and drag to try and add some interest. If I want to free transform again, make sure I'm on that layer. Transform, rotate or edit. I like the free transform because it lets me do rotate and then scale at the same time. So option click and drag. Oops, I've got to tell it it's okay. So I double clicked on top of it because it was still in free transform mode. So option click and drag, option click and drag, option click and drag. So now I've got a little varied type size. Free transform again. I'm going to make that go like this. Move it over. It's a little dark. So now I've got all these types. I'm going to select one layer, hold down Shift, select all those layers with the T because I want to rasterize them now. I'm going to do, you can go to type. I thought you could go to type rasterize. Oh yeah, rasterize type layer. You can do that, or you can do layer rasterize type. And what's nice, then it doesn't require the font when you print it out or anything like that, or when you package it or you're going to send it to someone else. Then if they open the file, it's not going to expect them, here I'm going to rasterize it, it's not going to expect that they have that font to be able to view it. Because I know you probably experienced that before where you open something and the font is missing and then you don't know really how the designer intended it. So see, these are all selected in my layers, so that's why I'm now moving all of them because they're all selected. So to get out of that, I could just click on one other layer if I wanted to. And because I have auto select selected, I can then select on one thing at a time and move it. I might want this to be a little lighter, so I'm going to command click to select it. Now I'm going to still want it a little darker, so maybe somewhere in his eyes so that we can see the type. And then edit, fill, foreground color, okay. And then Control D. So now I'm starting to fill these things with different values. Of course, you might want to have different words and all that. This is locked, but it's still kind of once in a while. If you touch it, it will definitely select here. So this sort of helps us define with different, if I click on this, define our space with the same values and colors that surrounds it. Edit, free transform. I don't want things to be all the same. Of course, this is a lot, so you do not have to do everything that I'm showing you. I wanted you to get used to just kind of working in the software. So, let's see here. Double click, option click and drag. The double click is after I transform, it wants me to confirm it. So option click and drag. Let's see, I want to turn this one. So do edit, free transform, rotate again. I want this one to go over here, option click and drag. It's not going to want me to until I confirm that that was the rotation I wanted. So, and then, you know, you can change the colors and you can, so this is a start of what I was expecting for the project. What you have is also acceptable, but these are just a few tips if you feel that you want to try what I've shown you. These are some more advanced edit, free transform, some more advanced little tasks you can do. Double click, option click and drag. So just same word, so it's kind of boring, but obviously I think I ended up inadvertently making some layers. So to get rid of locked layers, just click on the lock and then drag to the, click on the lock, drag here. All right. I was making copies because I was trying to make copies of the word and it wasn't working. So then you can just continue to fill until your whole portrait is complete. Of course, you might want to vary some of these typefaces, and obviously this is a lot of work, so I know that's finals week, so use your discretion. But varying the scale of some of these words, the positioning, that's sort of what I was hoping to see. And then we've got the yellow type. The yellow type obviously too is a nice way to cover up those. And of course I could do it I could be a little more interesting about doing it. Again, going into my free transform, maybe using a different word, but I'm just trying to show you this. Double click, option click and drag. Trying to kind of show you this quickly. So let me know if you have any questions, but I hope this video helps you as you move along. When you want to upload it, you're going to want to save this file. It's a big file because it's got all those layers, so you're going to want to save it as last name underscore, I don't know, portrait, desktop. You're not going to want it to say PDF. You're going to want it to say PSD. That's a layered file. So save it on your desktop or somewhere that you remember, and then flatten it. You want to flatten it so that it's not super big. Okay, and then save it again. Save it as Photoshop. You can save this as a PDF or a JPEG, whatever you'd like to do. I'll save it as a JPEG on my desktop. Do this. Save. Okay. So here we go. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll hope this really helps. Okay? See you in the next video.